Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to day 26 of your healing and wellness journey. Thank you for taking the time to be consistent and investing in yourself and being part of the Exhale community and family. I'm so happy and blessed and honored to have your ear and to have an open heart available to pour in the word of the Lord to you, and so that you can hear the whisper of what God is saying in this season. I really hope that it's impactful and that will continue to be a benefit to you, your personal life, your family, your community, and your forever. Today we are talking about progress, and I think that this conversation is going to be healthy to have at this point. Why? Because we're at day 26. That means that you have been putting in the work for 26 days. You have been consistent, hopefully, in reading the journals, listening to these videos, and having that change. But sometimes progress can feel a little bit discouraging because it doesn't happen at the pace or volume that we desire. So I want us to have a healthy conversation, a little discourse about what you can expect moving forward as the journal and this process is coming to an end, and how to really gauge and manage your expectations so that you don't have the pressure or weight of discouragement or comparison to kind of stifle that joy and that progress that you've been making. All right. So before we start, we always give a deep breath. So let's start with the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Every time we do these videos, we start with a little inhale, exhale, holding for 4. It's just us being aware of everything we're letting go. It's us taking a moment to release, and that intentional release prepares our minds to receive. And I think that is a beautiful thing, and it's a lovely habit that I would hope you continue in your day-to-day life. All right. It says, remember, you have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving yourself and see what happens. Approve of yourself and see what happens. This quote is so impactful because it exposes the toxic perception that we can have of time. We don't always do that comparison. And again, every quote that's in this journal has been placed very intentionally to have a beautiful impact on your life. The reality is, we often are so focused on what's coming. Sometimes we can be so future-minded that we are present void. We can be so intense in looking at what we have left to do that we can forget all the work we've already done. Now, I always encourage you guys not to focus, and not only you guys, myself as well, not to focus on your past, but it is healthy to evaluate, not get stuck there, but to evaluate the progress that you've made so that you can have a healthy perspective of where you're going and who you are in this moment. If you are always focusing on what you haven't done yet, you will forget what you have done. And what you have done is an accomplishment that is worth focusing on, that is worth celebrating, that is worth congratulating yourself for. It is not easy to take the time to heal. It's not easy to take dismantle all of these systems of thought, all of these systems of understanding, all of these perspectives that we've had for years. But when you do start the process of doing that, it is important to gauge that and to weigh it well, weigh it soberly. What does that mean to be sober-minded? It means to not be intoxicated with something. To be intoxicated means to be overly with anything. Do not over pour on the ambition. Do not overpour on the goal setting. Do not overpour on what you want to get done, because that becomes overwhelming. But rather see, man, I've come a long way. And to be honest, even if it might be a small thing, a small advancement, the reality is, if it took you that long to get that small advancement, it wasn't that small to begin with. Maybe in your eyes it was small, but in reality, if you were to take a step out, if you were probably looking from another person's vantage point, if you were, if this was your friend and not you, you would see, man, you made a lot of progress. Don't underplay that. Don't underplay that. Give yourself some credit and give God some credit. Like, honestly, you guys have come a really long way. You've been criticizing yourself for years. You've been living this way for years. You've been doing these things for years, and now in a month, we are trying to apply concepts and ways of thinking and processes that are trying to dismantle all of these things that you have practiced for years. Yes, it's going to come a time where you think you're over it, but it comes back, it sneaks back, it'll see if you're still there. The Bible talks about the strong man in a house, and it says that when you cast a strong man out of a house, after 7 days, it will come back to see if it's available, if there's still space there. And so it's normal for some of those temptations to try and wave you back, for some of those old habits to try and wave back into your life. It's coming to see if you're available. It's coming to see if you're still willing to house it. It's coming to see if you're still where you were 7 days ago, last month, last week. It's gonna come back. And that is your opportunity to apply. And when you apply, then you can grow some more. And when you apply, then you can grow some more. And when under some pressure and passing those tests, then you can grow some more. But the worst thing, I don't know if you've ever been in a math class and you are stuck on a concept and then the whole class gets it and everyone moves on and you still haven't caught that last concept, but your teacher has moved on to a new subject and now you're trying to catch the old thing and the new thing and you feel completely lost because you have to build off one thing to another. It's the same thing. You might not feel like the progress is fast enough for you, but God has to make sure that it's solid before we build on the next level. And that is His grace to you. That is His grace to us, and that is a beautiful thing. Man, there's so many things I wish I had right now. Probably a year from now I'll be watching this and I'll be married, but right now I would love that. But I have to acknowledge the fact that, hey, if God's not giving to me, maybe it's because I'm not ready for it yet. Maybe there is something that I'm still working on. And even though I think that I've learned what I need to learn, and even though I think I've grown in the areas I think I need to grow, it's possible that He needs to make sure that that thing is sturdy. Because you can't build a life with another person on rocky ground, on tossy foundations, on something that's shaky. I don't want shaky. No one wants shaky. God doesn't want this progress to be shaky. He wants you to be able to hold on to it and keep it. He wants you to have it and keep it, not have it and lose it. So yes, absolutely. If it's taking a little bit of time, if it's not moving as fast as you want, it's okay. What's important is that you're going to get it in the end, even if you have to take time. And we are always in a rush, and God is always moving a little slower. I find sometimes than I want Him to move. But the reality is He does it at a pace that is sustainable for you and for me. And that is His love towards us exemplified. Don't rush God. Don't rush your process. Take your time, because when you do, you'll be able to hold on to it. Our parents always told us, and maybe your parents did. My parent did. My parent and my grandparent told me, things that come fast don't last long. If it come quick, it'll go quick. Fast money is not always good money. Things that you don't have to work for, things that you don't have to, not necessarily work for, but things that you don't appreciate, that don't have that value of time, that you don't have that effort invested into. Because some things God does give us, but to hold on to it, there's different systems that have to be put in place. There's different things that have to be done, and that takes... There you go. I know you said time in your head. I know your head said time. So give it time. Give yourself grace. You've been living with this trauma for years. You've been believing that lie for years. So it might take more than a month. But you've started the process that'll change you forever. And God is pleased. And you should be too. I hope that this video encourages you. And I'll see you tomorrow with another one. God bless you. And remember, you're doing well. Believe it. You'll see it.